So I just thought it would be easier for me to talk about this before I get started again with it. Now, I had this bird cage. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby, and of course I painted it, and I was trying to paint it blue. Didn't like it. Did another color, didn't like it. Painted it white. Still wasn't vibing with me. And then I decided to make it into a cloche. Now, I found this wood ring here, and I think it was part of a frame. And what I went ahead and did is I drilled holes here because I'm going to make this into a bird cloche. And this had a base, the wire basket or the wire bird cage had a bottom to it. And I went ahead and cut that off with my tool here. I just went around and kind of forced my hand into the metal pieces, and I snipped them off. And this is the bottom. It was like this. And then with that wood frame, I went ahead and took my E6000 here, and I put glue all along the edges, so it's pretty stuck on there. But then I want it to be very secure, so then I put these holes in here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wire here, and I got this from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to wire that through the holes and secure it even more. So here I'm just taking that wire, and like I said, I'm going to thread it through the holes and go around twice, I believe, here. And then I'm going to go ahead and staple that secure. And I'm going to repeat that process and pull the wire through all 4 holes and securing it with my staple. And then this is really thin wire, so you can easily just trim it with your scissors after you have it all in place and stapled down. So now I'm going to come in here with this Rust-Oleum white spray paint, and I'm going to spray the whole piece in a white color, and then we'll seal it here with the Rust-Oleum also sealer. So now to the distressing the base and the wood to expose that. Just coming in with my electric sander and hitting all those spots, you know, the rim and the top of the rim, just to give it some distressing. Now to add a little bit more contrast and age to this piece, I'm going to come in with this Distress ink pad here and just go over the piece, adding some age to it, and it's like a little bit of a copper color here, and give this piece another layer and a little bit of a distressed look. And then here, to add another layer to this piece, I'm going to come in with the dark wax and the white wax, clear wax from DIY, and we're just going to mix those two colors so that the dark wax is easier to blend and once again doesn't come out blotchy. I know I shared that tip before. And I'm going to make sure I get the inside of the bird cage so it's not stark white on the inside. And then I'll go in there and get that rim too that's just kind of popping there. So I'll just continue that process for the whole bird cage, wiping off the excess. Now I'm just going to add my greenery here and a little twine bow to the top. And this piece will be done, and I'm just going to use my hot glue to glue that down, and of course coming in with my lighter to get all the flyaways of the fibers on the bow, and then to clean up the twine and give it a cleaner look. And there we go, adding the greenery, and then the bow is here. And then this piece will be set aside to dry, and it'll be all done. Moving on to project number 2. Now for project number 2, this was already started as well. I'm just going through my stash and finishing up halfway finished projects. And I'm going to go in here with the baking soda method. And I just mix my white paint there from Bear and my baking soda to make a textured paint and cover up all these boardings. And I think I might have got these from Hobby Lobby. And started this process, and I think they were stands, and I used the bottom bases already for something else, and I'll try to insert a picture here of those pieces of what I made the bottom bases for. But there they are, and I'm gonna come in here, and I keep trying different things to see how I want this to look, but eventually I just end up covering the whole thing with this mixture paint, this textured paint. And then I repeated the process for the other one. Here you just see me kind of pausing and looking at the piece because like I said, I was trying different styles out as I went and deciding if I wanted some brown of the wood to show the two-tone look. Although I like this look as well, I kept going and eventually I ended up liking the finished product, so it all worked out in the end. And once again, just going in and using that pouncing method and hitting all the wood spots to cover up the whole piece. Now to seal in all this layer, I'm just going to come in with my Rust-Oleum matte clear enamel here and spray the piece. And then because the wording was still showing, I decided to come in with this sandy color brown and give it a two-tone look and just cover in the inside of the piece. And then of course we're going to come in with our waxes, the dark wax, the gold gilding wax, and using my brush to blend that in. And I'm just going to do that until I like the look. And then I'm going to add in all the greenery, and then I will be adding the same wire hook for it to hang on. Now I come back in here later because I think it needs more, and I eventually add a metal key and with a little paper tag from my vintage music sheets that I found, and then this project will be finished. Well, if you notice here, I try to add a little shabby chic ribbon with roses, and I eventually didn't like it. It didn't come out the way I wanted. So I went back in and I changed that ribbon out. And here with the paper tags, of course, I like to distress them even further. And I'm going to come in with that same distressing ink that I have used on the bird cage and just age those pages a little bit more. And here I am taking out that ribbon and decide to just go with a plain twine ribbon and bow. Moving on to project number 3. So project number 3 is just this here wicker basket, and I cleaned it up and I washed it already, and I do spray them down with Lysol just to disinfect them and give them a better clean to them. Now here I have this paper tag that I already had on hand, and I'm going to go in with that same distressing ink pad and distress it up a little bit more, and adds a little bit more age to all the edges. Now add my greenery, and that little tag is a tag I have made before. I have them in my stash, and it's just some wood and paper clay and the bird song molds. And then I'm just going to attach all these 3 pieces together, and I did glue the greenery to the paper to give it a secure bond there. And once again, coming in with my lighter and cleaning up my twine, and then I'm just going to add this all to this basket. Now I'm sorry that I'm off camera here, but I'm just wrapping the rope around the handle and tying it in a knot, and then I'll come in with another string here and wrap that around the existing rope here and make that string into a bow. For our last project, it's just this little teacup here, and I added a bird's nest to it.